Zach Cregger's latest film Weapons arrives with enormous anticipation following the breakout success of his 2022 horror hit Barbarian. That earlier film, with its shocking tonal shifts and fearless embrace of the bizarre, positioned Cregger as one of the boldest new voices in genre cinema. With Weapons he once again refuses to play by the rules, constructing a slow-burning mystery that evolves into something surreal, chaotic, and polarizing. What begins as a grounded suburban thriller eventually spirals into a fever dream of violence, metaphor, and existential dread. The opening act of Weapons is carefully measured, setting up characters whose lives will soon collide in shocking ways. A teenage athlete struggling with anger, a single mother working to hold her family together, and a withdrawn man hiding secrets all orbit one another within a seemingly ordinary community. A violent event shatters the illusion of safety, forcing viewers into a puzzle box narrative that asks them to pay attention to the smallest details. Cregger builds tension through silence and subtle visual cues rather than conventional horror beats, establishing an atmosphere of creeping unease reminiscent of Hitchcock. From the beginning the film positions itself not simply as entertainment but as commentary. The title Weapons points not only to objects but to people themselves, shaped and twisted by trauma, culture, and systemic failures into tools of destruction. Guns, masculinity, and violence are woven throughout the script, with Cregger making clear that the story is less about a single tragedy than about the way violence radiates outward through families, schools, and entire communities. It is an examination of how American culture both fears and fetishizes violence, turning it into something both condemned and celebrated. This thematic ambition gives the first half of the film weight and urgency, but midway through Cregger detonates his own carefully constructed narrative. The film takes a sharp left turn into surrealism, abandoning linear storytelling for a fractured dreamscape where timelines collapse and characters' realities dissolve. What once seemed like a mystery thriller suddenly resembles a nightmare. A gym filled with mannequin soldiers, a suburban street that loops endlessly, a mother sprinting through repeating landscapes, these sequences blur the line between dream and waking life, offering grotesque metaphors rather than coherent plot. Some viewers will find this exhilarating, a daring refusal to play safe, while others will find it maddening. The tonal whiplash is intentional, echoing Barbarian's structure but even more extreme. The performances keep the film from descending completely into chaos. The young male lead gives a riveting performance, capturing both the fragility and fury of a teenager caught in cycles of neglect and violence. His transformation is tragic and deeply human. The single mother character provides emotional grounding, her exhaustion and resilience offering contrast to the escalating madness around her. A local officer adds a layer of menace, representing both authority and corruption. Even as the narrative fractures, the sincerity of the performances gives the film a core of emotional truth. Cregger's background in comedy again surfaces in flashes of dark humor, moments that elicit uncomfortable laughter while emphasizing the absurdity of a culture that commodifies violence. Technically, Weapons is striking. Cinematography shifts from clean suburban frames to distorted handheld chaos, mirroring the descent into nightmare. Lighting evolves from natural daylight to oppressive shadows, underscoring the collapse of normalcy. The sound design is haunting, filled with unsettling silences, industrial noise, and distorted lullabies. Editing choices deliberately disorient the viewer, creating a sense that reality itself is unstable. Cregger demonstrates a remarkable command of rhythm, knowing exactly when to stretch out a moment and when to shock with sudden brutality. Reception to Weapons has been divided. Admirers hail it as a visionary work, proof that Cregger is pushing modern horror into bold, uncomfortable territory. Detractors dismiss it as incoherent and pretentious, more concerned with provocation than storytelling. This divide mirrors the reaction to Barbarian, but amplified. Regardless of opinion, it is impossible to ignore. Weapons is designed to provoke conversation, to stick in the mind long after the credits roll, and in that sense it succeeds completely. Within the broader landscape of modern horror, Cregger stands out. While many directors chase trends and franchises, he dismantles conventions and reassembles them into strange new forms. Barbarian exposed horrors lurking beneath everyday spaces, Weapons exposes horrors embedded in culture itself. The film makes clear that the scariest monsters are not creatures in the dark but the cycles of violence we perpetuate as a society. The ambition sometimes overwhelms coherence, but it also produces moments of cinematic power that few contemporary films dare to attempt. Ultimately, Weapons is not a comfortable movie, nor is it meant to be. It is messy, ambitious, disturbing, and occasionally brilliant. It will frustrate as many viewers as it inspires, but it confirms that Zach Cregger is one of the most daring filmmakers working today. For audiences who want tidy narratives and conventional scares, this will not be satisfying. For those willing to embrace risk and surreal experimentation, Weapons offers an experience unlike anything else this year. Like its title, the film is sharp, dangerous, and impossible to ignore. Whether loved or hated, it will not be